Right, hello everyone and welcome to this new video on my channel. So you've seen it in the title. Today we're going to be ranking every single League 2 stadium from worst to best. So I've completed League 2 now. I completed it at Morecambe at the beginning of April this month. So now I've been to every single stadium, so I think it is only right to do that. Also, if this video gets enough likes, I'll be ranking every single away day in League 2. And also with this video, I know this is going to have a lot of different opinions. I know a lot of people are going to say, why did you put this above this or whatever. It's my opinion, just whatever. If you've got a different opinion, let me know your list in the comments. Let's get a bit of a discussion going, but let's keep it civil at the same time. But anyway, let's get into the video. So like I said in the introduction, we are going from worst to best. So let's start off at the bottom then. And to be honest, I think there are three kind of grounds where it could have been in any order, but I'm going to start off in 24th with a team that probably won't be in League 2 next season, and that is Sutton United, Gander Green Lane. So not really a fan of this stadium, to be honest with you. It were okay when we went. The thing is with them, and a lot of these stadiums near the bottom, they have been National League stadiums, so they are trying to, get them up to EFL standard. But Gander Green Lane's got a long way to go, to be fair. It's basically a park. It's in the middle of a park. You kind of wouldn't really know there if you didn't see the floodlights, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not the best of stadiums. Like I say, they are trying to upgrade it as much as possible, but someone had to come in last, and that is Sutton United. In 23rd, I'm going for Holker Street, the home of Barrow. And like Sutton, they have been upgrading them. They've got the new 2 stands on the side, but I'll be honest with you, the 2 new stands aren't great. We've got loads of poles in the way, and the roof is it's got a few gaps in as well, so it's not exactly waterproof as well. First, like I say, the time I went to Barrow, we were in the old away end behind the goal, which basically had a sheet in between the 2 fans, and you couldn't see the corner flag at all because of restricted view. Yeah, it's not the best of stadiums, let's be honest. And it's an awful journey as well. It is not easy place to get to, so Barrow takes second bottom for me. And in 22nd place, another ground that, like I say, are trying to get up to EFL standards and are constantly upgrading. The smallest ground in the EFL, and that is Harrogate Town. Like I say, I've only been in the away end. I've been twice here. Very, very cramped away end, if I'm being honest with you. This time, we're behind the goal, which were a bit better, but still, it's got a long way to go at this stadium, but it is improving all the time. 21st, I've gone for Forest Green Rovers. Awful away end, absolutely awful away end. Luckily, we went on a glorious day, and I were in shorts, but I can imagine if it were like a cold winter's night, that it'd be absolutely awful. Like I say, mainly been in the National League as well, so it is that kind of standard of ground. You've got, like I say, the main stand's pretty nice, and then you've got, I believe they're both terraced behind the goals, and yeah, I'd say it's a bit better than the bottom 3, but still down near the bottom, in my opinion. In 20th place, we've got Salford. I'll be honest, when I went to Salford, I were looking forward to visiting the ground, but I was pretty disappointed, to be fair. I think the floodlight's pretty cool, but other than that, I'm just not a fan of the ground. It kind of feels like they've spent all the budget on kind of like trying to upgrade the players and stuff like that, and the stadiums fell behind a bit. I know they have made it a bit bigger and stuff like that in recent years, but it just doesn't feel, it's like facilities are awful, especially there is no concourse area. Worst toilets I've ever been to as well. I'm just not a fan of Salford Stadium, and if it's kind of a hard one to explain, but if you've been, you'll know exactly what I mean. 19th place, I've gone for Accrington Stanley. To be fair, it's not a bad stadium, Accrington's. Like I say, it's one of the smallest in the EFL. We went on a absolutely torrential day. We were behind the goal, got absolutely drenched, and then went into the covered stand for the second half. But because it's so low down, the wind just blew the rain into us. Anyway, it's not a bad stadium, especially like I say, for the size of Accrington. It's probably perfect size stadium for them, but like I say, there are some very good stadiums in this division, so they had to fall somewhere, and 19th is where they fell. In 18th place, I have gone for Crawley Town. Pretty similar stadium to Accrington in my opinion, but just a bit better and a bit more modern facilities in my opinion. That's kind of the only difference I'd say between Crawley and Accrington, hence why they are just above them. In 17th place, I'm going for the stadium that I'm actually going to tomorrow, which is the Priestfield Stadium, home of Gillingham. Now, to be fair to them, they have got two pretty nice stands, and then the one off to the side that does look a bit dated, and then the away end. Yeah, I don't really need to say much about the scaffolding, to be fair, do I? But yeah, two decent stands and then two not so good stands. Puts Gillingham in 17th, in my opinion. In 16th place, I'm going for the Mimosa Stadium, the home of Morecambe. One really, really nice modern stand, to be fair, but I think we spent all the budget on the executive boxes by the sound of it, because straight across from that, you have basically got the Berlin Wall, as the Morecambe fans nickname it, which is basically just a wall, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you've got two terracings behind the goal, which, to be fair, the terracing looks pretty decent, to be fair, behind both goals. So Morecambe in 16th place. In 15th place, I have gone for Newport County, a very, very unique stadium in the layout. To be fair, before I went to this ground, I thought it were going to be one of the lower ones, but it's actually pretty nice. I wouldn't say nice, but it's pretty good to go to be fair. It's like I say, each kind of stand's got something different about it. You've got the modern stand where the away fans are on the side, and then you've got a temporary stand just to the left of you. You've got the main stand just across, and I believe it's terracing behind the other goal. So yeah, each stand is very different, and yeah, it's got a bit of quirkiness about it. I quite like Newport, to be fair. Now, these next grounds are all pretty similar in my opinion, and pretty subjective, so they could kind of really go in any order. But in 14th place, I have gone for Crewe Alexandra, the Mornflake Stadium. So obviously you've got that one massive, massive stand on the side, and then three that aren't so massive. Kind of that one just towers over the rest. And that's probably why it's a bit lower than the rest of it, because you've got one really good stand and then three that are a bit outdated. But I do like the Mornflake Stadium, to be fair. It is always one that I enjoy going to. In 13th, I've gone for Walsall, and very similar to Crewe, you've got one stand. This time, this stand is behind the goal that kind of towers over the other three. And to be fair, Walsall just reminds me of Glanford Park quite a bit, to be fair, apart from they have got that big stand behind the goal. Reason it's above Crewe is, I think it's a bit, you'll know what I mean if you've been to both. I feel like the facilities of Walsall are a bit better, a bit more modern, and that's probably the only reason why they're above Crewe. In 12th place, I've gone for Mansfield Town. I'll be honest, Mansfield's kind of a ground that I don't really like visit to. I'm not a big fan of the away end at all, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I originally had Mansfield a bit lower down, but I suppose you have got to have them a bit higher. They've got, you know, lovely stand on the side, and then two decent stands behind each goal, and then obviously they haven't got a stand on the other side, that is where the gantry is. And I think I heard something where they had to shut it because it's not safe, you know, for spectators in that stand. So yeah, that is why Mansfield is in 12th. In 11th place, I've gone for Grimsby Town. I originally had this a bit higher, but then it's hard when you've done it as an away day, because you've got to kind of take that away day bias out of it, because Grimsby is one of my favourite away days. But to be honest, the ground is pretty run down. It's quite an impressive ground, to be fair. You've got a nice one stand on the side, and then the other three stands are a bit outdated, but it's still not a bad stadium, to be fair. I'll still put it pretty high up. In 10th place, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with this, but I've gone with the county ground, home of Swindon Town, and say it's one of the biggest stadiums in League Two, and you know, probably one of the, it's been a Premier League ground over, like, I think about 30 years ago. It just feels a bit old and outdated, to be fair, especially in the away end. It could really do with a lick of paint. Obviously, we've got this terracing behind the stand, which is very rarely used, and then, you know, all the stands are pretty decent, but it is looking a bit worse for wear, to be honest with you. In 9th place, I've gone for Colchester United. Yes, I know it is one of these new build stadiums, but you have to admit, it is pretty impressive, and facilities around it are pretty impressive as well. It kind of reminds me of a bit smaller kind of version of our stadium, very similar to Chesterfield's ground as well. I suppose we're built around similar times. But yeah, it's not a bad ground, to be fair. I mean, obviously, when I went, there were very little atmosphere, and it is one of your classic modern stands, but I don't mind it, to be fair. It's pretty nice. In 8th place, I've gone for Plough Lane, the home of AFC Wimbledon. And I know this stadium has kind of got a lot of mixed reviews. Personally, I quite like it. I don't like how in the away end the concourse is outside, and it's a weird stadium. I'm not going to lie. The main stadium does look like Donny Racecourse, to be fair. Donny Racecourse's main stand, to be fair, but I quite like it in a way. I like how it blends into all the buildings, and I do really like that main stand as well. Like I say, not as much as the 7 above it, but it's not bad in my opinion, AFC Wimbledon. In 7th place, I've gone for Prenton Park, the home of Tranmere Rovers. Now, to be fair, I could say a bit like Swindon Town, where it's a bit outdated, but I don't mind it. It's got a bit of character to Tranmere, to be fair. You've obviously got the Cop, which is a real nice stand. This and Donny Rovers is actually the only ground I've not done as an away day. I was in the big Cop for the game I went to, and to be fair, it is a really nice stand, and one on the side is pretty nice as well. The away end's not too bad, and then you have got a smaller stand on the side, but I do like Prenton Park, to be fair. It's got quite a bit of character about it. Now, in 6th place, I know a few are going to disagree with this, but I've gone with Wrexham's Racecourse Ground. Like I say, it's not bad, and I'm sure when we've got that 4th stand built, it will rise up this list. Nevertheless, they will be in a different division next season, but nevertheless, it's a nice stadium. Like I say, it's in 6th place. It's in the top quarter of the stadiums. Yeah, just to be honest with you, I've not really got too much bad to say about it. I just prefer the 5 above it, in my opinion. In 5th place, I have gone for Stockport County. I'm a big fan of Stockport County's ground. Even though I'm not too much of a fan of the away end, I do always find it really impressive when I come to Stockport. I love the stand behind the goal, the main stand of Stockport, and I don't know, I just really like Edgeley Park, to be fair. I just think it's a really good stadium. It's got a lot of character to it, like I said. It's, I'm just a fan of it. I know there are plans to expand it as well, so I'm interested to see what that'll look like when they do it. I'm guessing a lot of that will be the uncovered stand behind the goal. But yeah, once we do expand it, I will be very interested to see how it looks. In 4th place, call me biased or whatever, but it's my team, Doncaster Rovers, I have put in fourth place. I'll be honest, like I say, atmosphere, it's not great. Like I say, we only very rarely half fill it, and it is one of these classic bowl stadiums, but you have got to admit it is a lovely stadium. Facilities are probably, if not the best in this division, and like I say, you've got everything you need in and around the ground, and then inside the ground as well, even though, like you say, it is one of these traditional bowl stadiums, it is a lovely stadium, great for away fans as well. You can pack out the stand behind the goal, and yeah, although the atmosphere and the attendance isn't great, it is still one of the best stadiums in the league. Okay, moving on to the top 3 then, and in 3rd place, I have got Valley Parade, the home of Bradford City. So, it's like I say, it's a lovely stadium, Bradford. It is on the older side, but it is a really good stadium, especially the 2 of the bigger stands. The stand that the away fans are in on the side as well, to be fair, is a pretty good stand as well. And then you've got the older stand behind the goal, which gets used if they need more capacity in the away end. So yeah, Bradford, like I say, one of the biggest stadiums in the league. I think it's the 2nd biggest. And yeah, not too many complaints about it, to be fair, but the other 2 are better, in my opinion. And in 2nd place, I have gone for Notts County. I know Bradford is a bigger stadium and that, but I really like Notts County Stadium. I'm a big fan of it. You can just kind of feel the history around the place. You can feel it's just it's just a really good ground, in my opinion. A big fan of it. Big fan of a Cop behind the goal. And yeah, it's in my. I were going to put this top, but I did change my mind at the last minute. I'm just a big fan of Meadow Lane. I can't really justify too much why I'm putting it above Bradford. It's just personal opinion, like I say. But personally, I just, really like Notts County's ground. And in my opinion, the best stadium in League 2, it's got to be MK Dons. Stadium MK, in my opinion. Now, I know, when I went with Rovers, I think there were either just over 5 or just over 6,000 in attendance in a 30,000 seat stadium. Atmosphere is absolutely awful, but you cannot deny it is a top class stadium. It's a Premier League standard stadium, in League Two. Facilities are unreal. Like I say, I've sat in the bottom tier and the top tier of the away end. In the bottom tier, you've kind of got that open bit that goes like all around the stadium, so you can kind of see into the ground from the concourse. It's just like something from outer space, to be honest with you. It is such a good stadium. I know the atmosphere is awful, and you know, everything else you want to say about MK Dons, but the stadium is, you know, it's a superb stadium. And like I say, it's a shame I can't fill it out and stuff like that. I'm sure over time, and you know, say whatever you want about the club and whatever, but nevertheless, you can't deny it is the best ground in the league. Okay, that brings me to the end of this video. I know I'm going to get hammered for some of these, but like I say, let me know in the comments what you think of, like, what your favourite grounds are. Like I say, I've tried to take bias out of it. I have put Rovers in 4th, but when you look at it, it is one of the best stadiums in the league, and facilities, like I say, and everything else are very good for the league. But yeah, let me know in the comments what, you know, your favourite grounds are, what your least favourite grounds are, and yeah, instead of slating each other's opinions, let's have a discussion about it below. But I'm going to leave the video here, so thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like the video whether you are an old or new viewer. Also, don't forget to follow my social media links in that corner just down there. Adam Gittings PT on pretty much everything, so make sure you follow me on there. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.